Quite a day yesterday, and that, of course, is where we're going to begin this morning with that truly world-changing news, you can call it. This story is covering the front pages around the globe. President Joe Biden's decision not to run for re-election. Now, this surprise announcement yesterday marks an historic, unprecedented, and possibly undemocratic moment in American politics. With the election, just think about this, 105 days away from today. In a statement, President Biden said his decision was in the best interest of the Democrats and the country, and he vowed to finish his term in office, the beginning of the end of a political career that has spanned more than 50 years.
A half century, and now the eyes of the nation fall on Vice President Kamala Harris, who President Biden has formally endorsed as his successor. If the Democratic Party agrees, she will become the first woman of color to be nominated for the country's highest office. We've got our whole political team out here covering this, correspondents, analysts as well, to talk about how we got to this moment and what happens next. We'll also have reaction from the Republican side of the aisle, including a conversation with former President Trump. Let's start with Ed O'Keefe, who's in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where President Biden still isolating with COVID. Ed, it's been a remarkable 10 days. It changed American politics. You've been there every day of it. Good morning once again.
Good morning, Tony. The president's doctor says his condition has dramatically improved over the weekend as he continues recovering from COVID-19. He made this momentous decision Saturday night here at his home in Rehoboth Beach with just the First Lady and 4 trusted aides by his side. He called the vice president Sunday morning to tell her, and then just a handful of staff before the rest of us found out the big news Sunday afternoon. In his message explaining his decision, President Biden wrote, "It's in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." Just minutes later, the president used social media again to endorse Vice President Harris, urging Democrats to come together and beat Donald Trump. With that, Harris officially entered the race, saying she's honored to have the president's endorsement and that she plans to earn and win this nomination. Within hours, most other party leaders, including Bill and Hillary Clinton, potential running mates, or those who might have been potential challengers, backed her bid, a sign she could quickly earn it in the coming days.
She's been a key part of the successes at home and abroad of the Biden-Harris legacy, and I think she is best positioned to carry it forward.
But some big names held back, including former President Barack Obama, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. The unprecedented campaign shakeup comes more than 3 weeks after Biden's debate against former President Donald Trump.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
The 81-year-old's performance raised doubts about his mental fitness and led to mounting pressure to step aside from Democratic allies. Biden was defiant against those calls for weeks.
I am running, and we're going to win.
Before conferring with a tight group of advisors and family members and deciding late Saturday to end the campaign.
With Joe Biden as the heart and soul of our party and Kamala Harris coming out swinging against this ticket, we've got the recipe for victory.
As for Republicans, House Speaker Mike Johnson continued to test a line of attack against the Democrats on Sunday morning.
It would be wrong and I think unlawful in accordance to some of these states' rules for a handful of people to go in a back room and switch it out because they don't like the candidate any longer.
Last night, he called on Biden to resign immediately because if Joe Biden isn't fit to run for president, he's not fit to serve as president. And Trump agreed, saying Biden wasn't fit to serve from the very beginning.
Kamala was in on it.
His campaign already treating Harris like the person to beat, attacking her in a new ad.
Kamala owns this failed record.
So as you can see, the campaign is underway already, but the president has said he will address the nation in the coming days. We wait to see what he has to say there. And the work of governing continues because both the president and the vice president are scheduled to have separate meetings with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later this week in Washington. And guys, consider the enormity of this decision. 2024 is now set to be the first presidential election since 1976 without a candidate named Bush, Clinton, or Biden on the ballot. Tony?
It is a new era, Ed. Thank you very much.